This is Sparta. Well, okay, maybe it's not Sparta, but it is set in ancient Greece. Hey ratbags, it's Jade today giving a first look at a new game called Dawn of Defiance, a open world survival game set in ancient Greece for you and up to 3 other players, 4 total, in a co-op focused base building and exploration survival game. I got the heads up from some marketing agency talking about its release, and I figured, you know what, I will give this a quick review and talk about whether or not it's a good idea to have a survival game set in Greece. I mean, why not? We've had Sendoku, we've had Medieval Dynasty, we've had lots of periods of time having the survival open world flavour. Obviously, Assassin's Creed and Odyssey are probably the most well known in recent times of a good Grecian game. That was an open world RPG, not the survival mechanics that a lot of players come to know and love. So yeah, this could be interesting. So let's roll through it again while I waffle on at slow-mo speed. The world looks amazing. I'd be very surprised if it wasn't made in Unreal 4, but you never know, it might be Unity. But yeah, it looks like something nice to explore, lots of gorgeous biomes and maybe not so nice ones filled with dangers. The logo for Traeger pops up, and they are a fledgling small studio with not much history, making a game a couple of years ago which was like a World War sort of shooter based in a vehicle of some sort, kind of mech style. So quite different jumping from that to an open world survival game. The movement of the characters here looks a little bit stiff, and base building is pretty much generic as they come in terms of survival and how you build, placing stuff, very much having the resources and crafting them before then going and build them. But the hunting looks good, the lighting looks good, and the fact that you can make your own Greek pantheon is a enticing prospect. Now this is interesting. Is this just assets flipped on a black screen, or is this actually going to be the viewpoint when you're making like a legendary weapon? It's got a bit more opulence about it rather than just the usual crafting bench with maybe an anvil stuck at the end, being able to customize and create your own tailored equipment. Nice time lapse showing us the progress that you can make via the different build sets, finishing off with something definitely a lot more grander. One thing I do see lacking in this trailer is a leaning into Greek mythology properly. Like, there's no sort of regular well known or well seen creatures. Like, we'll see something at the end that makes it definitely something that could exist. The rain here, someone's dialed it up to like 10,000. It looks like literally just flooding across my screen. Might want to tone that down a little bit, lads. But the enemies with the walls and then these weird creatures, and then this just blows out the water. You're super Greek boy apparently. So having some sort of abilities to maybe fly and use special powers, alleviating this from just a kind of boring grind that I ended up finding Medieval Dynasty, just not much excitement. Now this is a bit more like it, facing off against a massive foe with big red round him and a massive hammer over that statue in the background. If anyone remembers that Brad Pitt film based in Greece, that was definitely the move from that. And here we finally see something a bit more weirder and more mythological with the creatures. Like, I know it might be an old trope, but you're going to grab people's attention with something like Medusa rather than maybe just a rock golem. All in all, yeah, I'm not trying to be overhyped about this. It's a good idea, I think, just about. Although you've got to question why no one else has done it. Is it because the Greeks have just got way too much going on with so many gods and different creatures? Is that the problem, not being able to turn it into a viable survival game because everything's just too fantastical? And if you take away the mythological aspects, then you're just dealing with another kind of basic simulation survival game. If I wrap my brains, it's been a while since we had something with like real good mythological creatures in it. Like Nightingale's had a few, but that was obviously a bit more modern takes. Atlas, that failed MMO by the same makers of Ark, that did have a lot of mythological creatures, hydras and medusas and more. So I would hope that maybe it leans into that, definitely. I think it's a selling point still. I don't think it's still overplayed. In fact, could argue it just hasn't actually been done right just yet. Keeping it grounded in reality with this soldier, yeah, okay. But then seeing him fly above these sort of pillars and stuff, that's interesting. Is that going to spice things up enough with lots of abilities to really take on a lot of these monsters? There'll be the usual cries from the server chads, oh, why can't we have a proper multiplayer game? Why can't it be more than 4 people? Yeah, to be fair, but as I said, we've had a few stabs at that with games like Atlas and others. And the fact is that some of them games, they just end up being quite copy and paste because they have to put in stuff like base raiding. Or the performance or the look of the game isn't always as good because they have to worry about everyone's different system. So give me a bit more of a co-op, cozy experience with me and my pals to play. And yeah, I think I'm down for that. I don't mind it. The armours and weapons, the choice that you'd be able to have. If anyone's a Greek buff, I'm sure they can point out to a really wave of new technologies and new ways to fight and engage with the weapons and armour of the day. And yeah, that blending of a little bit of supernatural with it, yeah, I'm down. Let's take a gander at the Steam page. That's where you'll be able to pick it up, as well as the Epic Games Store. No announcements about console releases just yet. You awaken on a forgotten shore, starting from nothing. You must hunt and arm yourself against the dangers of the Isles. Explore the ruins, venture across the Isles for explore landmarks, discover treasure and face the gods' challenges with each victory growing strength through new recipes and upgrades. Empower yourself, select your weapons design, craft with any ingredient and build impressive structures that rival the halls of Olympus. Defy the gods, defeat the followers of the gods, complete altar challenges and prevail on the Isles. Only then will you prove yourself in the name of Defiance. Pretty breezy, pretty light, and of course it will be an early access title. Click on Traeger Entertainment and see what else they've made. As I said, it was some sort of vehicle based shooter set just after World War II, and that came out a couple of years ago, which pretty much no one bought. Gotta say though, it looks kind of cool. So, scheduled to release at some point later this year. Kind of a low-key announcement for it, like I said, from a small studio. I'm going to keep my eye on it. If we get any big news about when it's going to come out, I'll probably do another video then. And if I get the chance to take a look and see how the game plays, if they do some sort of demo or preview, then of course I'll do my best to try and take a look at that as well. Dawn of Defiance, I've got to say it's an interesting name. I don't see what it really ties into the Greek mythos or Greek ways of life, but maybe we'll find out once we actually start playing it. Until next time, Ratbags, I'll see you for more survival games, news, guides and gameplay. Bye bye.